You ever walk into a place, feel eyes crawling all over you, and just no troubles coming? That's exactly what happened to me. Right there under the Miami sun, marble floors shining like they'd been scrubbed for a royal wedding. But all I got was an ice-cold welcome. You're not allowed to sit here. This lounge is reserved for genuine VIP clients straight from the lips of Abigail Foster, the queen bee in a razor-sharp suit. Her words sliced right through the calm, like you could almost hear the air crack. It wasn't the first time I'd been judged on what folks thought they saw, but that day, I knew I had to see the truth for myself, because this wasn't just about might, was about a sickness running deeper than polished floors and designer ties. So there I was, just Jasmine Brooks to them. No titles, no boardrooms, not even a flashy bag, just a blue cashmere sweater and the kind of loafers you buy for comfort, not applause. I'd owned this bank for 2 years, and you know what? Most days I wanted to blend in, see how my people really treated folks who looked, well, like me. I walked in at 10 sharp, told the front desk I needed to make a $5 million withdrawal. Simple, right? The receptionist didn't blink, just sent me to the VIP lounge, thick carpets, hush-hush voices, the works. I settled in, tried to read the room, people fidgeting with iPhones, sipping tiny cups, acting like they had nowhere better to be. Then Abigail swooped in, all high cheekbones and higher suspicions, sizing me up like I was a spill on her shiny floor. "Sorry, this area is for VIPs," she said, arms folded, lips barely moving. "You'll need to leave immediately." I'd love to say I was shocked, but if you know, you know. I explained, calm as I could, that the receptionist sent me. Didn't matter. Abigail wanted proof. Where was my money from? What was I doing here? Was I sure I didn't mean to visit a different bank, maybe one with a pawn shop out front? You could practically smell the doubt rolling off her. Now, I'd seen her type before, the kind that judges your whole life by your jeans and the color of your skin, who thinks power comes with an Armani label and a security badge. But this was my bank, and I'd come looking for the truth. So I slid my tablet across, all the documents there, clear as day. Abigail barely glanced at them. Chin up, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth like she was waiting for me to crack. "If you think a few files are going to convince me," she whispered, "you're mistaken. We're cautious with cases that seem out of the ordinary." And before I could even breathe, in came Marcus Bradley, Summit Wealth's favorite, VIP, slick suit, smug smirk, old money attitude. He strode right up, flicked my tablet onto the floor, didn't even flinch. "This bank isn't for people like you," he sneered, loud enough for the whole lounge. "Try a pawn shop next time." The room went dead, quiet, just the thud of my tablet, the weight of every stare. But I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction. I picked up my things, hands trembling, but my pride unshaken. Then Natalie Simmons, one of the junior officers, always sharp, always cold, piped up. "Marcus is right, Miss Brooks. Where do you get that kind of money, anyway?" Her words landed like a slap. "Maybe you stole it." For a split second, the old anger tried to bubble up, but I pushed it down, called it, lose my cool. Not with so much on the line. They were ganging up, Abigail smirking in the corner, Marcus looming over me, Natalie tossing out accusations like candy. What they didn't know was that I was watching, memorizing every word, every sneer, every insult for the record. I'd had enough. Calmly, I told them, "You'll all be held accountable for your words. Trust me." They laughed, but the shift in the air was real. More phones came out, folks whispering, wanting to catch the next viral moment. I asked politely for them to stop filming, not wanting this circus on social media, just the facts, just the truth. That's when I quietly called my assistant, Clara, and gave the signal protocol 6. "Record everything," I told her, and she got right to work, no questions asked. At that moment, I felt the tide turn just a little. But Abigail, not missing a beat, called for Tyler, the security guard, big guy, all muscle, no mercy. She ordered him to remove me for suspected fraud. Without a word, Tyler knocked my bag to the floor, reaching for my arm, and right as he tried to grab me, a voice cut through the tension like a rescue flare. "Stop right there. You have no right to do that." Calvin Reed Sharp's suit, calm eyes, one of our longtime clients, black like mess, dude up, dignity and outrage in his every move. "She hasn't done anything wrong. You can't treat people like this." For a second, You could feel the whole room tipping, the balance finally shifting. Tyler hesitated, Abigail bristled, but Calvin stood his ground. "This is discrimination, and it's happening right in front of us," he said, voice steady. The moment stretched, whispers spreading like wildfire, Marcus and Natalie taking a nervous step back. I picked up my bag, dusted myself off, and, as Clara's text popped up, protocol 6 complete, audit team en route, I looked every one of them in the eye and knew the time had come. My patience had bought me the proof I needed. "You all deserve to know who I really am," I said, standing tall, voice ringing out across the silent lounge. "My name is Jasmine Brooks. I'm a CEO and majority owner of Summit Wealth Bank, the very bank you stand in." The room froze. Abigail turned white. Marcus dropped the tough fact. Tyler looked like he wanted to disappear into the marble. Even Calvin seemed stunned, eyes wide with respect. I didn't gloat, I let the truth do the heavy lifting. I came here today to see, with my own eyes, how discrimination lives in places meant for trust and dignity. What I've witnessed is proof of the problem, and I assure you, every action and every word has consequences. For a long moment, nobody spoke. The weight of those words finally cracked the surface of their arrogance. And then a twist nobody saw coming. Natalie broke down, tears streaking her face, stammering that she was following orders from Robert Turner, the assistant manager, who told her to mark black clients as high risk, to ignore complaints, to protect the bank's image. Tyler, shaken, confessed to had been ordered to make certain clients feel unwelcome, and he'd done it without thinking. The whole rotten truth spilled out right there, turning a story about a single day into a reckoning years in the making. I made it clear everything was recorded, every confession, every command. Clara was already sending the files to the board and the authorities. "Abigail Foster," I said, "you're terminated effective immediately for gross discrimination and abuse of authority." "Natalie Simmons, you took her falsifying records and harming the integrity of this bank." "Tyler Evans, you're done here." "And Marcus Bradley, you're banned for life. There's no place for your arrogance or contempt in this bank." Each verdict dropped like a stone, the room filling with a new, charged silence. And just when the dust seemed settled, Richard Bennett, the old training manager, stood up, voice shaking with regret. He admitted that the system itself was poisoned, that staff had been taught to judge by looks and color, that his own blind spots had let the rot grow. I thanked him for his honesty, told Clara to make sure his confession was recorded for everyone at the bank to see. "Discrimination is a silent disease," I said. "It wounds not just our clients, but the very soul of this place. Today it ends." From there, the energy shifted. I suspended all branch operations, announced a total reform, mandatory training, independent oversight, zero tolerance for any form of discrimination. The clients started to applaud, Calvin first, then the rest, not just for me, but for the hope that maybe things could really change. I promised them Summit Wealth would become a symbol of fairness and dignity, not just for the rich or the familiar, but for anyone who walked through those doors. As the applause faded, I stood center stage, feeling the weight and pride of what we'd done. "A person's worth should never be measured by appearance or bias," I said, letting the words sink in. "Justice arrives only when we speak up. When silence ends, change begins." From today, Summit Wealth stands for fairness, dignity, and respect for all. We can only build a better world if each of us refuses to stay silent. So let me ask you, if you'd been in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you speak up or walk away? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about what justice means, what we owe each other, and how we move forward together. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe, because the fight for dignity is far from over, and every voice matters.